Hey, good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Taylon Green from the spring to now, where's he grown?
Yeah, I think he's made tremendous strides. He did a really nice job in the summer on working on his technique of his drops, his sets, keeping his front shoulder where it needs to be. And we've worked really hard on getting him to have more of an over-the-top release. Um, he's 6'6". He's an outlier, so his advantage is to be at 6'6". When he first got here, he was dropping down and sometimes making himself 6 foot. So I think that's been tremendous improvement. His technique and his release and his accuracy has went way up.
On the accuracy, I think he was like mid 50s last year at Boise. Is there a window of accuracy that or completion percentage that you're looking for?
Yeah, there's so many things that go into completion percentage. You can't just judge a quarterback on that because it starts, all 11 guys being on the same page between your pass protection, with your offensive line, between your pass protection and routes with your running backs and tight ends, and then the precision of your receivers with routes. So, I never really, anytime I recruit somebody, I really don't look at the completion percentage. I'm looking at, how they throw the ball, how they compete, what their decision making is, as opposed to staying away from percentages.
How about the rapport between Talon and his receivers? How do you feel about their relationships right now?
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job. They worked hard on that this summer, and even in the spring, almost had to tell them don't go out on the weekends and throw. We're doing so much during the week that you want to stay healthy. You don't want to overtrain. And they were wanting to go out Saturdays and Sundays. We cut it back to just Sunday. But they've worked hard together and the ability to be on the same page. We do some reads by our receivers to give them options to break in, out, or take it over the top, and we continually are improving on that. We're not where we need to be yet by any means, but we're getting better at it.
Yeah, Coach, just wondering on the protection up front with the offensive line and getting the running game going, all those things, are they getting in sync?
Yeah, it took us a little while, longer than I thought. I thought we would just take right off from spring and keep going where we were when we left off because we felt good about our ability to run the ball. We felt good about our pass protection. But then when you look at it, that's a really, really experienced, talented defensive line. And they were just ahead of us when we got started, but we're catching up. We've had some really good practices. We did a good job in the scrimmage. Our pass protection guys are working together, and we've improved running the ball with power, and that's what we need to do. And JJ is a really good running back. Our Dub's really good. Got Big Braylon, the freshman. Rodney's helped us a lot with different aspects. He's a little bit different flavor than everybody else. And then Reed's done a nice job here. It took him a while too. He was a little out of shape, really. Not really. I don't know if it's out of shape or just not ready for the intensity of Division I football practice, but he's caught on pretty quick.
Like when you look at Tyrone Broden, 6'7", fast, got really good hands, and Isaiah Satania also with his speed, seemed like they should have performed more last year, like had more production. Did you feel like that? Just like looking forward with them, like what they can do with this offense?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even looked back at what they did last year or how they were utilized or anything. When I got here and we were able to get on the field and you saw the talent that those guys had, then it was just about, okay, how do we get them the ball? And, how do they fit into the plays that we have and what formations do we get to utilize them? Because I really like Satania. He's having a great fall. He's super fast. He runs with the ball really well after the catch, and he can adjust and jump and catch the ball when it's not a perfect throw. So that makes it hard to cover. Broden's done a nice job. Haven't seen him as much as I would like to out there. He's got a little toe he's dealing with. So some of his is early practice and hasn't been able to finish practice like we would like to see. And I think Armstrong's got a chance to be a special receiver. The combination of power, strength, and great hands makes him very difficult to defend.
Coach, last year, I don't know if it's fair or not, but one of the knocks on Taylor was the number of interceptions. I think it's 9 interceptions, 11 touchdowns. Do you feel like you worked with him to get the interceptions out. I don't know how much was his fault. Like you said a while ago, a lot of stuff goes into all that, but if you feel like the interception's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, we're working on it every day. You know, we've done a pretty good job throughout camp taking care of the ball. Yesterday we turned it over a number of times, had tip passes always result in interceptions in the SEC because everyone's so fast. They close and make the plays on the ball. Uh, they weren't tailings yesterday though, but they were tipped interceptions. But that's a big part of playing quarterback is you got to, especially in practice, because you got to challenge yourself enough to see if I can stick that post, if I can make that throw. And then you have to be smart enough to dump the ball off or take your check downs. And I err in this part of the camp of being aggressive and challenge them to make the throw. And oh, you just took the easy pass there. Because I think they need to see I can stick that post for a touchdown or I can't. You know, but if they always just, oh, I'm afraid to throw an interception, you know, they're not going to pull the string and throw the pass they need to throw to win the game. So I like his mindset. I think he's been very aggressive, and there's a certain route that we've been working on that he's been awful at. And when I asked him to, hey, give me a list of plays that you would like to run in practice tomorrow, that was the number one play on the list, which was great to see because he wasn't shying away from it. He was aggressively trying to attack it so he could make the throw for a touchdown.
Malachi, if something happened to Taylor and you had to put Malachi in, you're pretty comfortable he can run the whole offense.
I am. Yeah, Malachi is doing a great job. He's got really, really good knowledge. He delivers the ball on time and he's accurate with it. And I don't think we'll ever know how good Malachi is until they have to tackle him. You know, sometimes quarterbacks, when you don't tackle, once they have to tackle them, they're a heck of a lot better. I had that with Stephon LaFleur at Louisville. Lamar Jackson, we actually put a rule in that when he ran, you had to tackle him just so his teammates could see how special he really was.
So what do you think of the execution from Thursday scrimmage, and what do you want to work on for this coming Thursdays?
Yeah, we got off to a really good start. We made big plays and we were aggressive with it. And I was really happy that tells me that our players it was very important to them. They really took to what our first series was going to be and studied it and worked on it and were ready to go out and play. And then we got a little bit of complacive. So we didn't finish the scrimmage the way you would like to finish it. We've got to have a little bit more killer instinct, aggressive and go for it. And it was a good long scrimmage. So it challenges you both mentally and physically. And I thought that we met the challenge in probably 3/4 of the scrimmage and then failed at the end.
So Marcus Woodson was in here yesterday and said that you guys have a high volume of offense that they're having to prepare for. I'm wondering what the second round of the install that you're doing now is looking like, and how much you want to carry into the season, I guess.
Yeah, right. We did put a whole bunch in, you know, I've kind of like we've always done. We took it in spring and had an install, 7-day install and tried to throw it all in there. Came back in the summer in June when the coaches are here. The rules have changed. We get to meet with them. We get to do that. So we did it again. We just finished it again right before the scrimmage. Now we're kind of going back and refining certain things and taking portions of 1 and 3 together. And that's all we're working today. Really trying to find our identity. You know, I think that's the key right now is to find our identity. I've always believed you take this big old playbook, and then that, you know, as you progress and progress, it goes down and down and down. And okay, this is who we are. That doesn't mean we're not going to keep working on the other parts of it because you're going to need that at some point during the year. But we still got a few weeks to go to really figure out who we really are.
So what was that play Taylor struggled with, and how did he do on it today?
Yeah, I didn't call it today, so he didn't throw a pick today. So that's a good thing.
Hi, Coach. In the fall, when you first got here, you said that you weren't really involved in kind of the NIL or the other stuff at your previous stops. I'm just wondering now, are you kind of more up to speed, and how much are you involved in that? on a regular basis.
Yeah, you know, Coach Pitt works really hard at it, and the organizations that we have around him and Hunter work really hard on it. That allows me to coach football. So I'm excited about just coaching football and being in the meeting rooms with the quarterbacks. It's a lot of fun. I think that's the most fun I have all day long is in the meeting room with the quarterbacks.
Coach, every time someone comes in here, we ask them, what's it like going against a Bobby Petrino offense? So what's it like going against a Travis Williams defense right now, your first year kind of working with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have a really good defense. They do a good job of taking away what you do well, you know, and making you try to beat them left-handed. It gets a little bit old going against them all the time because they start knowing some of your plays, some of your calls, and makes it harder and harder. The more you go against the defense, the more advantage they have. Causes us to have to switch it up a little bit, you know, change up what our checks and certain things are. But I think we've got really good intelligence on the defensive side of the ball, starting with the defensive front. And then in the secondary guys are young linebackers or new linebackers. I guess they're not young anymore, but the new linebackers are learning, but the guys are helping them take care of it.
You have so many tight ends that, have either contributed already or have potential. What have you seen from that group and specifically in maybe the run blocking game, from those guys? Is that something that they've improved on this spring and fall?
Yeah, it's something we're really working on is, what our identity is with the tight end run game, and Luke's done a nice job. He's a really good player, really good receiver, tight end. He's done a great job of blocking. He's tough. I mean, he gained weight. He did a great job all throughout the summer. Was on a very strict nutrition program and weightlifting program, and did a great job of getting his body back up to where it needs to be a force in blocking. Gums is still, being able to do both, block and run and catch the ball. I've been excited about Washington being back. He's a guy with a lot of experience, played a lot of games last year. I didn't get to see him at all in the spring, so I'm learning a lot about him. He can be a physical blocker on the line of scrimmage, a good pass protecting guy, but I also think he's a really good receiver. He's smart. He knows how to get open. He's got good hands. Him and the quarterbacks are trying to get a little, togetherness to know each other. So we're still a little far from that. I'm missing 181. Paskey is getting better and better. A lot. It's all new to him. And when he came in spring, I don't think he was really ready for this intensity. But he has really picked it up, and he understands what he needs to do and how you go about your business in the meeting room and on the practice field. And I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. We just got to get it quicker, get him coming out of him quicker.
Going back to Malachi, both Taylor Green and Coach Pittman have talked about his receptiveness. I guess where have you seen him grow the most since the spring, and how receptive has he been to your coaching?
Yeah, Malachi is really coachable and extremely intelligent. He picks things up quickly. One of the things you want as a coach is to try where it works out, where you only have to tell a kid one time and then they get it. Malachi's that guy. You usually only have to tell him one time, and then he can carry it over to the next day, or he can carry over what you coached him to 3 days from now and do it that way. And it's a lot of fun when you get a young man like that who can pick things up and adjust and be coachable like that. He knows the offense well, and his timing. I think he's still learning himself as far as what throws I can and can't make. And that resulted in a few picks yesterday. But you have to do that as a quarterback. And like I said, his ability to run and scramble and keep his eyes downfield is very good.
And then looking at Carmona on the offensive line, just how much of a leader has he been there, and how big of a benefit has he been since he's come in?
I think the thing that really jumped out to all of us was when we first got started in the second semester, and you got Talon and Carmona coming in, is how quickly they said, "Hey, look, I'm here to take charge and tell me what to do." Being a great leader as a player, you first have to be a great follower of the coaching staff, what Coach Pitt wants, and that's what you get in those two guys. They're going to follow what he wants, how we want to run the program, and then lead their teammates into doing it. That's been tremendously impressive to me by both of them, just because they were so new. They didn't know anybody out there. But that's what their makeup was. That helped us come together quicker.
Obviously, you never want injuries, but with Broden and Armstrong being banged up recently, I'm curious if any of the other receivers maybe took that as an opportunity to step up. Did anybody stand out to you?
Yeah, there's a couple guys that have really stood out, excuse me. Monte, or 30 something wide receiver. I think he turned 30. He just had a birthday. Turned 29. Oh, he'll be mad at me. Uh, but he's a lot of fun. He's big, strong guy. I think he's great around our players because he's been there. He played in the major leagues, and every time you meet somebody or the players meet somebody nowadays, the first thing they do is Google them, right, and look out and see them stealing a home run out in center field. So immediately, it's great credibility. But then he comes out and practices hard, catches a ball, runs good routes. He's definitely going to help us play a lot. Dozier's done a really nice job, and I'll probably leave somebody out, but just he broke his arm in the spring. Had to have it casted, missed a lot of time in June. And it's been great to have him back out. It's a big body with great hands, that understands the game of football and can make plays for us. Tesla has taken that as an opportunity to get more action, and I'm still learning Tesla a little bit, inside, outside. What are his best things? What does he do well? How do we get him on the matchups? And he's been impressive to me also. I'm trying to think who else I'm missing. We have Joffrey out there who is a really, really good player. He's got a lot to learn in the offense, but he's certainly going to stand out. Let me look here and see if I'm missing. Who else am I missing? Oh yeah, CJ. CJ's jumped in there, and CJ makes all kinds of plays. He's got unbelievable talent. He can run, catch, run after the catch. CJ just has to be able to fight through fatigue. And sometimes the older you get, the easier it is to fight through fatigue. But he just once he can do that, then he can play on the field a lot more than he can right now because he just gets fatigued and not used to having to concentrate and focus. And it's a lot harder than in high school. There's just the amount of plays you have and the intensity.
And earlier you're talking about the running backs. I think you mentioned Rodney Hill's a different flavor than the other guys. I wonder if you can maybe elaborate, what he brings to the table.
Yeah, he's got a great burst and a great receiver out of the backfield. Really good hands. Can not only throw it to him short and make runs with it, but he can run it down the field and track the ball. He easily tracks the ball and adjusts to the ball, and that's one of the hardest things for running backs to do. But he makes it look like he's a receiver doing it, and that's exciting to me.
What do you think your depth and variety at running back?
I like it. I really like it. I think when you look at the overall crew, you got two big physical guys, JJ and Braylon, that can bang and go. R-Dub with the experience, the understanding of offense, protections. I think he's shown that he can certainly make plays for us. Caught the ball really well today out of the backfield. Rodney, like I said, kind of gives us a different flavor. And then Tyrell Reed, reminds me a little bit of DJ. He's got those size of legs, that height, and speed. So his speed is starting to show up a lot more. Like I said, it just took him a while to understand, whoa, I have to work this hard in practice. And there's sometimes when you go to junior college practices, you're wondering, how is he going to fit in? How is he going to do this? And he's actually made a great transition from week 1 to week 2 and knowing how to work hard, play hard, finish the play.
You've always had a lot of I guess mechanisms where one of my favorite ones you would say is you think it's important to verbalize your goals. You would always say that to the players. Do you say that with them? And is there anything else that you've kind of come up with that?
Yeah, you're gonna have to be around a little bit. I'm not sure.
That.
I do remember that because I do believe it.
Yeah, it's stuck.
Yeah, my dad used to tell me that all the time. He said, if you're gonna have a goal, then you have to be courageous enough to announce it, so you can go out and get it. If you want to keep your goal to yourself, your chances of going and getting it aren't really good. And, you know, we used to do that as a team and as an offense. So, yeah, we're not quite there yet, but we just started with our quarterbacks on working on that yesterday, or 2 days ago. So we're gonna get there. All right, thanks, guys.